Randy Falk, Director of Product Development for Neca. We had done a black and white Freddy last year, so we were thinking maybe we do a black and white Jason as like a companion piece, just kind of like, even though he was never black and white, make it more like silver screen, classic Universal Monster kind of thing with like Freddy and Jason. And then I saw this fan's Nintendo Jason, I'm like, that's kind of cool, maybe we should paint one up and see how it looks. So we did, and as we're doing it, we start talking about other ideas for it in the studio, and it's like, you know, it's such an 80s thing, and so like kitschy, like let's put some glow-in-the-dark stuff on it, make the mask glow, and make the head of the axe and the machete blade glow. And then as we're painting them and doing them, I'm like, you know what would be really cool? Don't do a blister card, don't do a clamshell, do the Nintendo-style cartridge box, and recreate all that art from LJN and everything, because the game is like notorious. It's so freaking bad, but everyone played it, and we went to the studio and said, hey, we want to do this as an exclusive for the show, and everyone was cool with it. We gave the fan, his name's Will, a special thanks acknowledgement even on the box for being the sort of spark that ignited the fire, you know. And everyone's already kind of looking like, well, you have this license and that license. Could we do a Freddy next year? Maybe. I mean, I don't think they all work as well as Jason. There's something about like the blues and purples and how weird it is. All those movies or licenses had crappy 8-bit games made after them. And it is kind of fun to go back and do something. It's certainly possible that we might have a successor at Comic-Con 2014.
Hey, I'm Dev Gilmore from Gentle Giant Studios and Vice President of Product Development. Well, Gentle Giant, it's absolutely The Walking Dead. We've got some really cool new statues. They're quarter scale. We use digitally scanned likenesses for a lot of stuff. Everything's digitally modeled. The hand stitching on some of the fabric and the clothing. There's actually die-cast metal in these things, injection plastic. A lot of really cool stuff to bring out really cool details. One of our Comic-Con exclusives is a Michonne mini bust, so it's already doing really well for us. Limited to 750 pieces total. You got to see our new Alien figure that's coming out. We do reproduction vintage figures. We oversize them. We take the same toys that came out in the early 70s and make them modern. Squeeze the head, the little mouth comes out, little clear dome that every kid lost, and your dog chewed up the tail. That's what we got, so it's a good one. Every year Comic-Con for the past 5 years, we've been doing a Pan's Labyrinth exclusive. First year was an autographed Fawn, small mini bust, and then we did a Pale Man mini bust, then we did another Fawn mini bust. Last year we did a Pale Man statue, and then this year it's the last piece, it's the Fawn statue. So kind of completing the collection until we bring out what we're going to do next year with him.
I'm Frank from Super 7. I make toys. In 1979, they had made prototypes for 3 3/4-inch figures for Alien. Never produced it, pretty much a little too scary for the time. So here it is, 34 years later, we tracked down prototypes, got the license from Fox, and started to make them official. So we're making 5 points of articulation, haven't changed the figures, one blister card packaging, exactly like they were intended to be. We actually searched for a couple years for leads and contacts before we ever approached Fox, because we didn't want to contact Fox if we didn't know if we could do it. So we started with people that we knew in the toy industry, and then reached out to some collectors that we know that are really hardcore into collecting Kenner toys and other things. And after we found out that there was enough out there, we then went forward, contacted Fox to try to make the whole thing legit. I am definitely pleased. It's the kind of thing where you sit in an office and you talk about things, and it all sounds great to us, but what does the rest of the world think? So we made our announcement last year, and we showed some original 34-year-old prototypes. Here we are 1 year later, and now we're really ready to show off what we can do.
I'm Tom Gillen. I'm the creative director for Sideshow Collectibles. So Sideshow's been in business, we've been around for about 20 years. Kind of at our core is horror stuff. The characters that we're working on are the Queen of the Dead, who's kind of a sort of a piece and partner of death itself, and is kind of like this birth mother. So kind of creates all the bigger entities in the court of the undead. There's some Predator 2 stuff that's on the other side of the booth that it's a kind of a follow-up to a piece we did about 5 or 6 years ago where we did the original Predator 1. It's another Predator 2, which is also in quarter scale, that is designed to sort of bookend off that original piece. I mean, I think to a certain degree, being the creative director for the company, I mean, every project has some sort of personal draw or story that, has kind of fueled the effort. So in a way, it's kind of the orphanage of all my kids that I'm trying to find places or good homes to put them in.
FEARnet's coverage of Comic-Con 2013 is presented by Evil Dead, now available on digital and Blu-ray.